Orban and the guardian of the hidden path. It was a quiet winter day. Orban lay on his bed, watching snowflakes gently fall outside his window. The house was still, his parents were out running errands, and he was alone. His gaze kept drifting to the small door in the corner of his room, the crawlspace door. Behind it was a dusty, cramped storage area that he usually avoided. But recently he had discovered something incredible there, a green pipe. The pipe wasn't ordinary. It led to another world, a magical place full of colors, flowers, and a shimmering castle in the distance. He had only been there once before, but the memory of it filled him with excitement. Today felt like the perfect day to explore it further. "I'll go back," Orban whispered to himself. He climbed off his bed, opened the small door, and crawled into the crawlspace. Dust tickled his nose as he moved closer to the glowing green pipe. It seemed to hum softly, inviting him in. Without hesitation, Orban sat on the edge and let himself slide down. The sensation was thrilling, as though he were being gently spun and carried downward. Moments later he landed softly on the floor of a massive hollow tree. Around him, glowing mushrooms cast a warm golden light on smooth wooden walls. In front of him stood a wooden door. Orban took a deep breath, pushed the door open, and stepped out into the magical world. The sight was just as breathtaking as he remembered. Rolling green meadows stretched out before him, dotted with colorful flowers swaying in a gentle breeze. In the distance, a magnificent castle glittered in the sunlight, its golden towers reaching high into the sky. "Today I'm going closer to the castle," Orban said, determination growing in his chest. Last time he hadn't dared go far. This time would be different. The meadow was peaceful, the grass soft under his feet. The air smelled sweet, and vibrant flowers painted the landscape in every color imaginable. As Orban walked, the castle loomed larger, its shimmering walls both inviting and intimidating. Soon he reached the edge of a dense forest that surrounded the castle like a protective barrier. The trees were tall, their branches intertwined, casting deep shadows over the path ahead. Just as Orban stepped into the forest, the ground beneath him began to tremble. A low, rumbling sound filled the air. He froze, watching in awe as a hill in front of him started to move. With a loud crack, a giant stone figure emerged from the earth. It was a guardian, towering and imposing, its glowing orange eyes fixed on Orban. "Who dares approach the path to the castle?" the guardian boomed. Orban's heart raced, but he stood his ground. "I'm Orban," he said, his voice steady, "and I want to see the castle." The guardian leaned down, studying him with its blazing eyes. "The castle is only for the brave and the wise. If you wish to proceed, you must pass my test." "What kind of test?" Orban asked, his curiosity outweighing his fear. "In this forest lies a hidden treasure," the guardian explained. "It is guarded by traps and puzzles. Bring it to me, and you may continue." Orban nodded, determined to succeed. The guardian stepped aside, revealing a narrow path that twisted deeper into the forest. The air grew cooler and darker as Orban ventured further, the trees forming a canopy so thick that only slivers of light filtered through. After a while he reached a fork in the path. 3 trails stretched before him, each disappearing into the shadows. Unsure which to take, Orban chose the middle one, guided by faint, glowing lights that lined the way. The trail led to a quiet clearing where a golden coin hovered in mid-air, its glow illuminating the area. Orban reached out to touch it, but as soon as he did, the ground beneath him shifted. Large stone platforms rose from the ground, creating a path over a newly formed chasm. Orban quickly realized he had to jump from one platform to the next. The first was stable, but the second wobbled dangerously. With each leap his confidence grew, though his heart raced faster. Finally he reached the last platform, landing safely on the other side. Ahead of him, in the center of the clearing, stood a golden chest. It shimmered in the faint light, and Orban approached it cautiously. Inside was a glowing flower, its petals radiating warmth and magic. Orban smiled as he carefully picked it up. He knew this was the treasure the guardian had spoken of. Holding the flower tightly, Orban returned to the guardian. The stone figure straightened as it saw the glowing treasure in his hands. "You have shown courage and skill, young adventurer," the guardian said. "You may continue down the path." Orban glanced toward the castle, now closer than ever. Its golden gates sparkled in the distance, and for a moment he considered pressing on. But the day had been long, and he felt that this adventure was enough for now. "Thank you," Orban said. "I'll come back another time." The guardian nodded, stepping aside to let him pass. Orban turned back toward the meadow, retracing his steps to the hollow tree. He climbed into the green pipe and was gently carried back to his crawl space. When he emerged into his room, he placed the glowing flower on his bedside table. It continued to shine softly, a reminder of the adventure he had just experienced, and of the many more waiting for him in the magical world beyond the crawl space door.